So hi you guys. I'm here to record the video I promised the people on my Facebook page. We're gonna talk about life in college. I'm exhausted. I can't get this video together to save my life. This is my 8th time attempting, my 8th and last time. 3 times supposed to be the charm, right? I went 5 over that. So this video will be about my college experience. And we'll start with the first college that I attended. I attended Southern Union State Community College, where at the time I was working at Zaxby's as a manager. Then I decided I wanted to transfer to another college. I wanted to be grown and live on my own and just get the college experience. So I transferred to ASU, Albany State University in Albany, Georgia. So I did the paperwork. Well, my mother actually did it. She did my financial aid. And I'm under the impression everything is good. It's paying for the dorms, for the classes. Like, the financial aid to cover everything. I should be good. So I left and went to Albany for school. Then I got there, moved all of my stuff in. The very next day, they tell me in the dorm, you're gonna have to basically get out because you don't have enough money to be here. So I was just like, how are y'all just now figuring that out? So the very same day, which was the next day that I'm talking about, after I had made the move, moved in, moved all of my stuff to Albany, I had to call my mother and she had to come back and pick me up. So I packed all of my stuff back up, put it in the car. We were getting ready to leave. I went to withdraw from school and they were just like, why are you leaving? And I was like, because the Parent Plus loan that y'all told me to apply for was denied. And they were just like, no. You needed to be denied to get it. And I was just like, that is so ignorant. But whatever. So I ended up unpacking all the stuff, moving it back into the dorm. My mother ended up driving back home. Now, mind you, this school was 3 hours away. So I decided, I did a semester, literally a semester, and then I decided to come home. I said I'm too stressed out and I need to go work and get a job. But I knew that I needed a car. So I was like, okay, yeah, just move back home, finish up school at home, and then try this again. So to make a long story short, I did end up coming back home, and I did exactly what I said I would. I got a job and got a car. Now, the job that I got was at Zaxby's as a manager. Then I decided, okay, this job isn't paying enough. I also got a car too, but I'm very good with money management, okay? Then I decided, okay, yeah, this job isn't gonna work. It's not paying enough. So I applied for a job at Kia. Got the job. I took notes because thank God I posted to Facebook and it's popping up in my memories. So July 14th, 2015, I started at Kia. I put my 2 weeks notice in at Zaxby's, worked the 2 weeks out, and then I left. So I ended up working at Kia. Then I decided, okay, this job isn't for me. I don't want to be stuck doing this for the rest of my life to make decent money. I applied for college. I applied for college at the University of Alabama. I got in. Well, I got accepted. And then I decided, okay, I don't want to get stuck here. So we're going to give yourself a time frame to get out. So I was like, okay, let me work this time out and I could just start school in the very next month. So I worked a couple of months at Kia. Then I left in January, like January 12th. if I'm not mistaken. I didn't post that to Facebook, so I didn't get a memory for that. But I'm positive it was January the 12th. So I went to Kia. Then after I put the application in at UA, I got a letter back saying that I was accepted. So it was May 7th, 2015 that I decided to do this college search. At that time, I was a psychology major. And I love psychology. I wanted to do it. But at that time, there weren't really a lot of jobs, like people looking for psychologists. So I decided to change my major to social work. December 2nd, 2015, I took my first trip to Tuscaloosa to look at apartments, to sign papers, sign leases, make sure I got everything in order for when it was time for me to move. Did all of that, everything worked out just fine. Then I got to Tuscaloosa and I had 3 roommates. They were all women, of course. And 2 of the 3, they were cool. All of them were cool at first. But then as time went on, the one that I shared the side with, we couldn't get along. She was petty. She didn't like to clean up. She kept company. And for somebody who doesn't like to clean up and wants to keep company, it doesn't make sense. So we had our little moments. We clashed a lot. If you've been following my journey since I created this channel, you know that I was in a relationship that I should not have been in. If you don't know, go watch the first 3 videos. That's how this channel came about. My first job in Tuscaloosa was at Taco Casa. That was in June of 2016. And I ended up getting fired from that job because, well, someone who worked for me or under me was into it with me. I don't know why. I feel like somebody went back and said something, or I don't know. She was just easily influenced and people got in her head a lot. We got into it, and I'm talking about to the point where everybody was literally about to fight, and the managers or the owners of the restaurant ended up coming down having a talk with us. And they were just like, do you want to work here? I was like, yeah, but I do think you need to check your management. Now, these people in management had been there for some years. They were way older people. And so I was just like, your management is horrible. And I said it in those exact words. So by the end of the meeting, they were just like, basically, they were going to let me go. And I was cool with that. So I ended up leaving there and going to work at Popeyes in Tuscaloosa as well. I went in as a manager there as well. And then I decided, okay, this is too much. So I stepped down. Then they decided to transfer me to Northport, which is right next door to Tuscaloosa. Went to Northport. I moved back up to management. And that's when all of the stuff in all of those videos and junk started happening. If you don't know, again, go back and rewatch the first 3 videos. So it was after all of that stuff had happened that I decided, okay, I need to go. I need to move out of Tuscaloosa, or move out of the apartment that I was in, not Tuscaloosa. So I ended up moving out, and I ended up I couldn't get an apartment. It was weird. In Tuscaloosa, there were a lot of apartment complexes that they weren't allowing college students to live in them. So I was getting denied for literally every place. So I ended up having to move with my coworkers from Taco Casa, who were 2 guys. They dated each other. Moved with them. We were in Tuscaloosa at that time. Then they decided they wanted to move. So they got ready to move. They let me know, and I was supposed to find my own place again, but I couldn't. And they were just like, well, you could come. You could still come with us. They decided they wanted to move to Birmingham. Now, Birmingham is about 45 minutes, about an hour from where Tuscaloosa was. So I said, you know what? I'm going to have to drive down here every day for school. But I don't have anywhere else to go, so let me just move with them. So I ended up moving with them. And then they decided, I don't want to stay here anymore. They decided they wanted to move. So they let me know. And it was at the very last minute that they decided. So they didn't give me a lot of time to look for a place. But I was dead set on finding my own place. And so they were just like, if you need to come with us, you can. And I was just like, Lord have mercy. I don't want to keep moving. So my stability was non-existent. So I ended up packing all of my stuff up, talked to a friend. And she was just like, you can come stay with me. So I went to stay with her. Well, I moved my stuff into her apartment. But then she decided, okay, her father was paying for the apartment. And they wanted papers signed and notarized. So if anything was to happen or go wrong, I couldn't back out of what I said, or I couldn't deny what I said, basically. So she knew at that time I was like super duper busy with school, work, interning, everything. So I was just like, when I had packed up to move in, that's when she told me about the papers needed to be signed. So it took me like 2 days to get around to doing it. I did it. And then the very same day, I moved myself into her apartment. Now I couldn't take everything in one trip in the car that I had. But I took what I could. And I knew I was going to have to get a moving company to move my furniture, my bed and stuff. And so that was going to have to go into storage because she didn't have an extra room. Well, she had an extra room, but it was already furnished. So I was like, I'm super busy. I'll let you know when I need the key to move my stuff in or to get back into the apartment. And she was just like, okay, just let me know. And so it took me a minute to get around to letting her know, talking to her again after that. It took about 2 weeks. So when I finally did right, I was just like, hey, where are you? Can you leave the key somewhere or meet me with it? I need to go ahead and get my stuff situated and move in. I'm ready to go. I got my stuff in storage. And she was just like, basically her and her parents had agreed that I could no longer move in because I had not communicated with her after I signed the papers and stuff. And I was like, but I told you that I was super busy and then I would contact you when I could. And so she was just like, yeah, but. And so, yeah, I ain't gonna get into all of that. I ended up having to go back to her apartment, pick up all of my stuff, and leave again. So I had my stuff in my car for maybe a week, all of my stuff, before I just decided, okay, I told these guys I would be out of here by a certain date. And it's about time for me to go. I don't have a lot of time. They weren't rushing me. They told me I could take as long as I needed to, but before the day that we had to go, obviously. I just went ahead and decided that I don't have nowhere to go and I'm not getting approved for no apartments. And so I decided, okay, you're going to have to get a hotel. Thank God Tuscaloosa had an extended stay hotel. So I was at an extended stay hotel for like a month exactly. Now, for the extended stay hotel, it costed $1,091 a month. That doesn't, of course, include food, any kind of food. I still had my car note, my insurance, personal items, gas. It was a lot of stuff that I still had to cover. How I was going to do that, I don't know. I know that I had a refund check coming. It wasn't much, but it was enough to help me get by for that month. So this was my very last semester of college. And I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna go back home. And I was like, I went through all of this time in school only to have to leave and not finish the very last college because of what I'm going through in school. So then I ended up talking to a classmate who was going to intern in Washington, D.C. And I was interning too, but I was interning in Tuscaloosa, obviously. And she was just like, yeah, you can sublease in my apartment. I'll be back May, which is when April, actually, the end of April is when she would have been back. And I knew because everybody's internship should have been over by then. They should have completed the 500 hours. And so I decided, okay, we could do that. Now, I had no idea where I was going to go or what I was going to do after she came back. Because I still didn't have anywhere to go. But I would have been done with school. And if I needed to go back home, I could have. My thing is, I was trying to avoid coming back home. I wanted to be grown so bad. And I know stuff happens and it wouldn't be anything under my control. But I just didn't want to come back. I wanted to stay gone and be grown. So it just so happens the accident happened March 12th, 2019. And I graduated May 5th, 2019. Now the thing is, school wasn't quite out when the accident happened. And I wasn't quite done with my internship. God looked out, man. They still let me graduate. I had like 450 something hours. So I still had about 45, 50 hours left to do before I was able to graduate or before I completed field. And then where I left off with my classes, my grades were fine. And so they were just like, yeah, just, go ahead and graduate. And so I did. But I said that to say this. This video wasn't supposed to be that long. There was a lot of stuff I could have gone into detail about, a lot of stuff that I could have mentioned. But I feel like that was most important. I said that to say this. Don't think that what you're going through, nobody else is going through, or that you're going through it alone. I'm not the one to say that it could be worse, because what you're going through may be your worst. And that's how I felt about people saying the things that they said to me. It could be worse. People are going through worse. Okay, I hear you, but this is my worst. And so that, in addition to nothing about life is easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. I said that to say this also. It took a lot of dedication, a lot of determination, and a lot of motivation. There were multiple times that I wanted to quit. There are people, let me speak for myself. I made it look easy, but by no means was it. Like, for the people who thought that I have it or had it all together, I don't. I really don't. I'm still working on it now, of course, because the accident, it took a lot from me, not permanently, but it set me back a lot. Like, I want to live by myself. Right now, I can't. if I go back to work, I'm waiting on the doctor to clear me for that for once. But if I go back to work, that's going to mess up a lot of the stuff a lot of the resources that I have and that I get for being in the position that I'm in now because of the accident. But I do know that this is not what I went to school for. I didn't get into thousands of dollars worth of debt only to be back at home, not have my own place, not have a job, not be able to work. I didn't go to school and get $1,000 of debt to not be able to work or to work at anywhere other than a place where I can use my diploma for social work. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or any advice, encouragement, please leave it down below. And I hope that y'all stay tuned in. I'm gonna try to start recording a little bit more and actually doing stuff to record. Until then, peace out.